In today's video, we're going to be doing a downspout drainage installation, and we're going to be going underground for this drainage system. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Josh. This is all about building your house, saving a ton of money, so be sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you get a notification every time I release a video, and hammer that like button for me. That's all I ask in return for making this video. So we're going to go ahead and start digging from the house to the drain on the other side of the house. Let's get started. And just a word of advice, always dial 811. It's misutility before you dig any line like this around your property, just to make sure there's no electrical lines or anything in the way. Now this is what's called corrugated pipe. This is 4-inch and it's non-slotted, it's solid, and this is gonna catch the rainwater and run it out to daylight towards that drain that's over by the driveway. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and lay this down the trench that we just dug, and then we're going to put a T to catch the other side of the house, and it's all going to go right into that ditch. Let's get started. So at each spot where a downspout's coming down, you want to leave a good 6 inches to a foot here. The downspout should actually connect clear down here about ground level most time, but you want to give enough room for play. So when we backfill, I'm just going to hold this into place while the dirt's getting pushed up against it, or you can take a shovel and shovel it to secure it into place. But just make sure you're up against the house right like that. Now let's go over and tee off the other downspout into this line. So from this corner to here, we have a slight slope, and now we got to intersect to where this water is coming off this corner. So I got to put a T in the line here. It's ideal to put a Y, but they only had T's, and there's going to be a shortage for a while because there's a plastic shortage. So we're going to install this T right there. All right, so this is going to be coming from that corner and intersecting like that. So to do that, we know our T has to be here. So simply just cut the corrugated pipe right there. And this stuff cuts really easy with a razor knife. It's kind of thin, to be honest with you. All right, now what we need to do is hook this T in line, and there's little spots inside the coupling that will catch on the side of that corrugated pipe. So we're going to push it right into it. And that snaps into place. And then this one's going to continue. Make sure you push it in really well. And then where this one's coming in, just push it into place. So there's going to be a concrete slab right here for the sidewalk going into the side door. So I'm going to go ahead and bend this about where it's going to be, and I'm going to leave plenty of length in case I got to adjust it later here. So I don't want to cut it too short, and again, it's better to leave it too long than not long enough. So there you have it. This will definitely be cut down more later, but we're going to lay that into place. So here's where it's going to come out to daylight and drain into the ditch. And if you're wondering how deep it was from the very back of the house to here, we went from about 1.5 feet to about 2 foot, just enough to have a slight slope. That's all you really need. And you need it deep enough to where grass will grow, because if it's too shallow, it's going to be hard for grass to get enough moisture to hold there to grow. So about 1.5 feet to 2 foot should be plenty. And yeah, we're going to extend this pipe and bring it out to daylight. All right guys, we gotta extend this corrugated pipe. We're gonna use a coupling to join it together. Let's go. All right, you wanna check out how this goes? You simply snap it together like this. Then we're gonna take the other one, and it snaps together up into it. Let me extend this out a little bit. There we go. Simple as that. Nothing to it. All right, we can backfill it now. It looks good. All right, we got a 100-foot roll here we got to crack open. Believe it or not, this stuff's light. I mean, pick this whole thing up, no problem. It's awesome. All right, now we're going to go tee in over here to this other line. Okay, so we're going to connect it something like that. Make sure we got enough down here. Yep, plenty over here. That looks good. All right, so this sucker's going to go about right there. Not rocket science. Utility knife to cut it out. I just love how easy it is to cut this stuff. Like butter, like butter. Looks pretty good. Now this one's going to go right into it. All right. Again, a Y would have been nice to have here, but we didn't have a Y. All right, so that's going to terminate there, that downspout. So that's going to be a nice way to get the water away from the house. And you don't want to use the slotted pipe, you definitely want to use solid. The slotted is mainly for around your foundation for a French drain. So we're not doing that. We're doing a downspout drainage system. All right. So this, we're gonna put the downspout coming down off this side to catch this little bit of roof right here. So we're just gonna dig this dirt out a little bit. All right, so it looks like we'll need about, something like that should be plenty. Try to hold that close to the house there. All right, now what we need to do, we need to take this black pipe, start on the other one running down. It's like an anaconda. All right, now all we gotta do is roll this down the trench like we did the last one. So if you're wondering what the final product's gonna look like, you're gonna have your black corrugated pipe just sticking up about where the grade is, and then you're gonna have this fitting that adapts onto the corrugated pipe, then your downspout's gonna hook into that fitting. And that's all gonna be the very last thing you do, and you can go ahead and do that after the grade is finalized. But until then, we gotta keep it rough. But this is a house I built 5 years ago, and it's all holding up very nicely. So the area where the sidewalk was, where we installed the first tee, right there is what it's going to look like after your concrete's finished. This is on the same house I just showed you where the other fitting was. So that guttering is going to terminate right here, and that's what you got to do if you do not want a wet basement or crawl space. So a little off topic, we got to get this tree down behind us, so we're going to use the backhoe to put tension on it so it doesn't fall on the other lot. It has nothing to do with downspouts, but I thought you might want to see it. So this is my lot on the left. That's my dad running the chainsaw now, and he's gonna get the saw started going into it, and hopefully the backhoe can push the rest down. We don't want to go on this lot to the right, so that's the whole goal here. There she goes. It's way safer to drop trees when you have a backhoe that can help you out by putting tension on it one way or the other. That was a success. Hey, tell the people how's the best way to cut a tree down? Hairsaw, steel. If you subscribe, you're going to watch me build a house on this one day by myself again, with a little help from friends. After hauling 130 loads of dirt over to that lot you just seen where we cut that tree down, This is what we ended up with, a nice level backyard, but we had this little bank that sloped towards it, which is fine. It actually turned out better than I thought it would. And you need to subscribe because I'm going to be building a garage right here in this back corner. It's going to be a 24 by 24 and you don't want to miss that. Something else you need to do to ensure you have a nice dry crawl space, and by code you got to have these anyways, but I just figured I'd go over this. You need to install this vent well, and what this does, it allows air to still flow in, yet we can have our grade up above the vents. So it's something you definitely need to do if you're going to bring the grade up this high. And I'm going to show you a concrete pad I poured today too while all this was going on. I got very lucky. We were pouring a driveway down the road and we had leftover concrete, so I ended up getting some free concrete. So that's something that's always a big plus whenever you have leftover concrete, is you have something to do with it if you have multiple projects going on. I want to show you those. So we ended up pouring these pads this morning. So I made a 4 foot long and 3 foot wide pad to set my HVAC unit on, and there's enough concrete left over to pour for this crawl space. And if you're wondering why we left this section out, we just put a bucket here and poured around it. My dad came up with a bright idea of it'll give us a way to have a water drain out in case water collects in here. I'm going to end up laying 8-inch blocks around here and making a nice little hole so we can get in and out of this crawl space easily. So just FYI, concrete is expensive right now. It costs $190 a yard for the driveway to be poured, which it was just a year ago or so, it was only about $135, $140. So prices are on the rise there. And that's all I wanted to show you as far as the concrete goes, because it's kind of a unique thing. And I want to say thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to subscribe, ring that bell, check out my Amazon store for products that are related to building that I use often. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.